Hi guys, so we're finally at the end, the last team of the Six Nations to review, which is Italia, the Azzuri, who played their opening match in Murrayfield against Scotland. And we'll just get into it. It's the last video. We'll get it done before the weekend, and then that way I can sit back and enjoy all the games. I've gone through each squad where I think they'll be strong, and yeah, we'll go from there. Last team, let's get it done. Certainly no pushovers, this would be a chance for them to impress. I've no doubt they will. So Fischetti and Ferrari would probably be the starting props. Ferrari being tight head, Fischetti being the loose head. And a hooker, I would imagine. Yeah, interesting now. Yeah. I was expecting to see Luca Bigi in there. I just whenever I hear his name, I just think of the Bee Gees. You can tell never mind that. Would be Zalocki. I think he's a hooker, isn't he? I'm not sure. But I know the forwards anyway. And then you've got Riccioni, who's a really good tight head prop. Got a lot of tattoos on his neck and loads of tats. And he'll be in there, and he's very good. Where I'm more excited for Italy, though, is the back row, the second rows. Like I was saying with Wales, I think that's an area to be better in. Well, my brother was saying that my brother actually played in the front row a bit more than me. I only played 2 games there, because he played loose head, junior cup level, and tight head for a few games. We got some proper training. I was just chucked in there and was like, "Oh, here you go." Didn't know what I was doing, and my neck was killing me. I see why they just head on shoulders. There's a good shot of George Martin down there, repping the baldies with the beard. Gone for your look, Georgie. Yeah, Ross Vincent looks like an alright player, and then he's doing pretty well. He's got the Cannone brothers, Lorenzo Cannone being the number 8, and then Nicolo is the second row. They rarely seem to play together, as in one's on the bench and the other's starting. Be good to see them both together. Dino Lamb, English fella, playing for Italy, doing quite well. Nicotero, I think he's another hooker, isn't he? I've seen him before. I think he might start, but I'm not sure. Seems like an alright player. I might put him in there if I was the coach, but I'm not Casada. I don't know. Izekor, Allesandro Izekor has been doing all right, not too bad at all. Benetton are on the up, I think this man, Manuel Zuliani, is getting turnover after turnover, so if he can stay on his game, it's definitely positive signs. But Michele Lamaro will be the open side, so Sebastien Negri usually plays, the Zimbabwean fella. He plays on the blind side. And then I like Lorenzo Cannone. I think he's a good player. Might do Izekor and Zuliani on the bench, but Zuliani's stats are incredible. Like, I don't know if I go into the URC again, but the ones who stood out to me are Zuliani and Simone Gesi. He is the most clean breaks, I think. Actually, no, we will go back into it, but not yet. I'm just going to go through the team. Stephen Varney, the Welsh lad. Yeah, just interested in foreign-born players. Good Italian name there. Matt Gallagher. Monty Ioane. He's Australian of Samoan and Fijian descent. Doing very well. This lad, Jacopo Troia, or Trulla. I'm going to say Troia. The Italians pronounce double L's like a Y. I know the Spanish and the French do. Jacopo, the Garbisi brothers, Paolo, and then you also have Allesandro being a scrum half, Paolo being the fly half. was thinking Alessandro, but I was getting the two mixed up in my head. It was like I know Paolo and then Alessandro, but Alessandro is the scrum half, Paolo is the fly half, and he was playing for Montpellier anyway last time I was watching. He's a good player though. He's in good form. He's certainly a player that they'll be relying on, I would say. Um, Good backline, very good backline. Ange Capuozzo is French born. I heard that before, but that's an undeniably Italian name. Menoncello, I think, is going to be missing from the first game, which is a big loss for them. He partners this man, Juan Ignacio Brex, the Argentinian. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do. Simone Gesi has been in flying for, brilliantly for Zebre. Capuozzo plays, or he's playing at Toulouse, I know, at one stage. I don't know if he still does. A key player. Menoncello, great player, alongside Brex. Don't know who they're going to put in at 12 instead of him. Big loss. They can't be, just more noise, Can't be overstated, though, how important a loss Menoncello is, but they do have really good players. Tommaso Allan now could play fly half and he could stick Garbisi at 12. That could be another idea. Paolo, that is, to partner Juan Ignacio Brex, because I think, yeah, Paolo has the physicality to do it, and he's skillful, so he could dictate play. And he tends to not be the most reliable off the tee. He's more decent in open play. I've seen him miss a few bad kicks, and he missed an opportunity to beat France in Paris, with a really bad mistake. I was just there thinking you had so much time, slot it over, you make history. They would have got 3 wins in the Six Nations. Imagine how impressive that would have been. An exciting backline. The main players will be Capuozzo, Gesi, and Ioane. They would be my starting back three anyway, and then Jacopo Troia I would have on the bench. He's a great attacking talent as well. With no Menoncello, what I would do is I would bring in Garbisi to play 12, and I would put Tommaso Allan, Tommy Allan, as they call him, as a fly half, because I think he's a better fly half. He's a better kicker than Garbisi. Garbisi's a better all-round player, I think that takes the pressure off. France do that very well. So, like, Tomas Ramos will take the kicks, and he misses rarely. He's such a brilliant kicker. I wish we could say the same about Ireland, but we're not as assured as Ramos is. Basically, you give away a penalty before the halfway line. If it's ahead of the halfway line, Ramos slots it. Distance maybe be his only weakness, but he's certainly got accuracy, and even if it is, like, it's at the halfway line, he gets it more times than not. Tommaso Allan isn't that good, but he certainly is reliable enough off the tee, and I think that's an issue for Italy, is taking their points, because they're going to need to take their points when they can. Not going to be a pushover for Scotland. Like, I just finished making the video on Scotland, and I think Italy have the capability to hurt Scotland. There's Stephen Vanni, the Welsh, English, Italian. He plays for Gloucester, or he did anyway. You're going to have to remember a few of these players I don't see, especially if they play in the Gallagher Premiership. Federico Ruzza, the mad eyes on him. He's got those real serial killer eyes. He's a very good player. Him and Nicolo Cannone, I would have in the second row. I think that's your strongest partnership. Very good players in the second row. Yeah, then we'll go with Dino Lamb, but I mean, I guess up to Asada, what he does, the Argentinian. Still have a strong bench with Allesandro Izekor. Zuliani, though, has just got such good stats, and I'm going to show you now. So I go front row, Danilo Fischetti. Then I would go with Gianmarco Nicotera, then Simone Ferrari. Marco Riccioni, though, I mean, maybe I'd start him. He often doesn't get started for Italy, and I don't know why. He got a try against England recently. I think 2 years ago. He was played very well. So, Ferrari's reliable, but definitely a case to be made for Marco Riccioni. He's doing very well. And then second row, I would go with Cannone, Nicolo Cannone, and Federico Ruzza. I'd have Dino Lam on the bench. That's just me though. Six, Sebastien Negri. Seven, I would have, of course, Michele Lamaro. He's the captain. And even whatever you think about talent boys, you can't deny that Lamaro brings so much. Even he's a very talented player. I'm not saying he's not talented. Zuliani better on the turnover, but Lamaro's a better ball carrier and leader, and he really does lead from the front. I think Italy are half the team without him. Number 8, I would have Lorenzo Cannone. So he can play with his brother. It's always nice to play with your brother. Then on the bench in the pack, Dino Lam, second row anyway. It's actually, this is good for Italy. Like, they've got some impressive players. It's kind of hard to decide who you start and who you leave on the bench because I have to leave out a few players. Again, the front row anyway, tight heads between Ferrari and Riccioni, which is a good problem to have. Lou said I'm undecided. I think Zalocki is the other hooker, so he'll be on the bench because I think Nicotero is about the best hooker they have. Lucchese, I'm not as familiar with him now, I have to say. Lorenzo Cannone gives a lot in the carry, so I would have Izekor on the bench to come on for him. Zuliani and Ross Vincent. Yeah, no, it's a tough one. It really is. This is an impressive Italian squad. Scotland, beware. There will be no pushovers. I'm going to look at the URC stats just to see what players will stand out. Simone, Gesi, and Manuel Zuliani lead the stats there. Let's have a look. Yeah, clean breaks it is. Simone, Gesi. See here now, tries. So who will be the try scorer for the Italians? Not them anyway. Don't forget as well that Monty Ioane, Capuozzo, they play in France, so they're not going to be on this list. Troya, yeah, he's doing quite well. I watched him against Munster for Zebre, and he was quite impressive. The Munster were shite in that game. Now, Nisi Ratave, yeah, he's Fijian, and okay. Yeah, so they'll be relying on those guys. Garbisi doesn't play in Italy either, so yeah, it's gonna be making myself bigger. Wee, wee. Having a bit of fun with that. Just slide myself over, slide into my DMs. All right. Leading point scorer. Let's have a look if there's any Italian players on this. Benetton have been doing well now, but they've been kind of the hopeful. Jacob Umaga. I always felt like he was hyped up and never really delivered because he's an Umaga. But he seems to have found his form with Benetton, who are on the up, as I say. Seems to have seems to be at home there, Giacomo Dare. I know Smith, yeah, it's South African though. Giovanni Montamori. You really have to slow everything down in Italian, not Montamori. That's amore. Yeah, surprised not to see Adam Hastings in there, like just another fly half, but they've gone with Fergus Burke. And Hastings has fallen out with someone or whatever has happened. He hasn't been in the Scottish side for a while. So that is that. There's Gesi. Put him on the wing, or would you put him a fullback? Because you can put Capuozzo a fullback and he mops up everything. Monty Ioane out and out starter at left wing. All depends on who you want to put on the right wing and who you want to put a fullback. I think Capuozzo is a better option, a fullback. So skillful and really balanced, and I mean that when he runs as well, which gives this man more space to attack freely. Really good stat, isn't it? So Duhan van der Merwe tends to be better at attacking than defending. You get Gesi into space, clean breaks all day. Scotland get ahead of themselves. You know, they can get on top of them. The Italians can. No reason why the Italians can't. And then Jacopo Troia, another good player, punished Munster, who were napping. Louis Leune thought as well, declared for Italy. He's not in the team. Yeah. And see, like when you talk about foreign players, Italy have to rely on them more because they don't have as much of a buy-in with players in Italy. Obviously, football is massive in Italy, so you don't have the same luxury of depth that we would have in Ireland. And even still, we rely on foreign players, which I can't get my head around. But you can understand why the likes of Italy would do it. You know, Japan do it as well because they're trying to get the buy-in, trying to grow the game. Which is why you see a lot of players who couldn't make it at other international teams actually turn out quite successfully at Japan. And plus, they say they love it there, you know. So he'll be the man doing the hard yards for the Italians. The most carries, or sorry, it's the top carries, successful carries. Love this website, I have to say. I'm addicted. So who will be doing that now? They have to be playing first. Yeah, Gesi. No, Presciantelli, he's not playing for Italy, so it'll be Gesi. Gonzalo Garcia, no, he doesn't play. He's not in the team either. Yeah. Izekor is a good, yeah, good leader as well. He's the black lad that plays in the back row for Italy, and he was the captain of their under 20s team not too long ago. FYI. Giacomo Ferrari, Fekatoa. Yeah, it's a stacked squad. And I mean, this is a great time for Italian rugby because they only just beat La Rochelle. But you could say you're in decline and whatever, and I know they got hammered against Toulon, but that was a development team. They beat a full strength La Rochelle side by 7 points. Like, that's mightily impressive. Shows Italy are on the up, you know? No pushovers and Zebre are doing well. It's definitely a chance to take a few scalps. If Italy are on their game, you know, they have us at home that they're playing in their home. They obviously drew with France and Garbisi missing that kick where you were right in front of the post. You thought he should nail it with his eyes shut. Sorry, 1 moment, please. Rhino Smith again, but he's not going to be playing for them, so it doesn't matter really. Lecata not playing either. Prishantelli up there again. Yeah, Gesi is the one you'd be looking at. He's leading a lot of the carrying stats. Jacopo Troia as well. All right, interesting. He had a very good game now, him and Pierce O'Connor against Glasgow. I was impressed now. Connacht only losing by 3 points. Mightily impressive performance, in fairness. So I expected that to be a comfortable enough win for Glasgow, and it was anything but. So fair play to Connacht. Meters gained. Let's have a look. Yeah, this man is going to be so important for Italy, and I think he's definitely earned a starting spot for sure. This is the man who's also very good against Glasgow. Irish qualified as well. He qualifies for England, Ireland, Australia, and New Zealand, 4 different nations, and residency and heritage. Any more Italian players there? I mean, you think it's all going to be Benetton players, but like as you say, Jacopo Troia and Simone Gesi are leading the way in that regard. They're doing very well. Benetton getting the big scalp. Dogwoo's not going to be playing for Italy this year. He's not on the team. When we get to the defensive stats now, yeah, Telly has some really good stats. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a call up, but sure, look, it is what it is. Yeah. Licata is popping up time and time again, so is Rhino Smith. As far as I know as well, Rhino Smith doesn't have many South African caps, if any. So perhaps Italy will consider bringing him over. He's topping all the stats. Fakatoa really doing well. Benetton, it's a good club for him to be at. He did very well with Munster, in fairness. He looked like he was trying very hard, but not playing his best rugby. But then he found his form and he was phenomenal. Telly with the most offload, well, joint sixth. I mean, the most for an Italian side. So, yeah, interesting. Montemore is back. That's some. There's Manuel Zuliani, but let's look at who the big tackler is going to be for the Italians. Izekor, I was expecting to see him. If my memory served me correctly, which it did. Geez, that's a good Italian name. Tommaso di Bartolomeo. Bartolomeo. Di Bartolomeo. Izekor. He's a good. All right. Well, it shows that there's good future for the Italian sides as well. You know, there's depth in there. John Ryan's still putting it about, but of course Ireland won't pick them. Keep sticking with Keane Healy because they say they want experience, but then they bring in an uncapped Connacht player who's like same age as me, 26, a tight head instead of the experienced John Ryan. So don't know what they're shouting on about. But anyway, it's about Italian rugby. Zuliani leading the way with Tame Plumtree. Theo Canale. Geronimo Prisciantelli. Jeez, he's up there, you know, he's putting himself about. Giovanni Licata. Simone Gesi is the most turnovers, or one of the most. Jeez, this man can do it all. Yeah, Menoncello as well, who won't be there. Spike ball. Spike ball. Yeah, so really good. This man will be important. And who will give away the most turnovers? Prisciantelli. Okay, see all the guys making the clean breaks and heavily involved are giving away turnovers because they're always heavily involved. Not their fault if they get isolated and there's no teammates with them. Yeah, you see Troia and Rhino Smith to like high in the good stats, but also get isolated because nobody's on the same wavelength as them. Right. So for the Azzurri anyway. Albornoz, yeah. See, he's playing well for Argentina, so he's not going to actually be representing Italy, even though he represents Italian rugby. I think that's it, guys, for that. I will leave it on that note. And I will come back. Yep, we're back. Yeah, so I mean, I never would have thought before that I would struggle to pick an Italian team. That's good. That shows depth. That shows that they have really improved and come on a lot. Which means it's not going to be a walk in the park for anyone who plays them. You're going to have to be on your game. Makes for an even more exciting tournament, you know, because there's going to be competition. And Italy hopefully can take a few scalps with them. Not ours, though. You know, leave the Irish scalps alone. Yeah, it's the last in the Six Nations squad review videos, and I'm very happy to have done it. And guys, what I'll be doing is I'll be doing a review of the weekend's games. I'll be doing my top players. I'll try and be unbiased as much as possible. I think I've done a pretty good job though so far. And I will pick players based on merit for 23-man squad. So say, somebody might have just missed out, so I think they deserve to be mentioned on the bench. That's why I like to do the best 23, not just best 15. You know what I mean? Just gives everyone a mention that deserves it. But then the players who stood out the most would be the starters. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you'd like more content like this. I've really enjoyed making it. And come on, Ireland, Six Nations starts on Friday. I cannot wait. Gonna be a good one, guys. Lion Star coming up this year.